Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to know how to change your life in 90 days? I'll tell you how. But first, let me ask you, are you ready? I don't mean ready to listen. I mean, are you ready to work? Because the road to change isn't paved with excuses. It's built with grit, determination, and sacrifice. Define your vision. The first step is knowing where you're going. You can't drive a car with your eyes closed, so open them. Dream big, but don't stop there. Write it down. See it, feel it, taste it. What does that future look like? And more importantly, why do you want it? When your why is clear, the how becomes a lot easier. 3. Make a list of 10 important goals and find someone to celebrate with you. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is like a spark. It'll light the fire, but discipline is the wood that keeps it burning. I don't care how you feel tomorrow morning. I care about whether you'll get up and do the work anyway. You've got to show up every day, rain or shine, tired or energized. Discipline beats emotion every time. Discipline beats emotion every time. Focus on small wins. Don't be so focused on the mountain that you miss the first step. Life is about momentum, and momentum starts small. Did you drink more water today? Win. Did you say no to a distraction? Win. Did you show up for yourself? Win. Stack those wins, and before you know it, you'll have a victory parade. Embrace failure as fuel. Let me tell you something. Failure isn't a dead end. It's a detour. It's telling you not this way, but there's still a way. Every great success story has chapters filled with failure, pain, and lessons. Take the lesson, leave the pain, and keep moving. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Surround yourself with positivity. Look around you. Who's in your corner? Who's in your ear? Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? You've got to protect your mind like a fortress. Feed it with good words, good people, and good habits. The energy you keep is the energy you'll become. 90 days, that's what I'm asking for. 90 days of commitment, 90 days of showing up, 90 days of believing in yourself when no one else will. You don't need a year to start changing your life. You just need 1 day of courage, repeated 90 times. 1 day a week filled with faith and vision for your future that trumps your fears and determines your inspiration. So are you ready? Get up, write it down, do the work. And remember, the change doesn't start tomorrow. It starts now. Thank you. Dreams are the seeds of change, but dreaming alone won't get you anywhere unless you take the time to define your vision. When I say define your vision, I'm talking about clarity, crystal clear clarity about where you're headed, what you want, and why it matters to you. Most people drift through life because they have no map, no destination, no plan. They wake up every day reacting to life instead of shaping it. If you want to change your life in 90 days, you've got to stop drifting and start deciding. Constructive decision-making is like a driver who trusts their gauge. They know how far to go, and they stay on the track. Vision starts in your imagination. Close your eyes and picture the life you want. What do you see? What does it feel like? What do you smell, hear, and taste in that future? This isn't just daydreaming. It's about giving your subconscious mind a clear picture of what it's working toward. When your mind sees it, it starts believing it. And when you believe it, you can begin to act on it. But don't stop at just imagining it. Write it down. Take that vision out of your head and put it on paper. There's power in seeing your dreams in black and white. It turns them from a wish into a goal. So what? And let me tell you, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You need to break that vision down into actionable steps. Think about the next 90 days as a sprint toward that vision. What can you realistically accomplish in that time? Don't try to do it all at once. Pick one or two key areas of your life that need the most attention. Is it your health, your career, your relationships? Start there. The beauty of having a clear vision is that it gives you focus. When you know what you want, you can filter out everything that doesn't align with it. Now, here's the hard part. You've got to align your actions with your vision. It's not enough to want something. You've got to live like it's already yours. If your vision is to be healthier, you can't keep eating junk food and skipping workouts. If your vision is to start a business, you can't spend all your time watching TV and scrolling social media. Your actions are the proof of your commitment to your vision. And every time you act in alignment with that vision, you're telling the universe, I'm serious about this. But vision isn't just about what you do, it's also about who you become. The person you are today might not be ready for the life you're dreaming of. That's okay. Change doesn't happen overnight, but it does start with a decision. Decide to grow into the person your vision needs you to be. That might mean learning new skills, letting go of bad habits, or surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to be better. Allow yourself to find experiences, learning yourself with people who inspire you to be better. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Clarity in your vision also helps you handle setbacks. Let me tell you, the road to change isn't smooth. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when you want to give up, when it feels like you're not making progress. That's when your vision becomes your anchor. When the storms come, and they will, it's your vision that will remind you why you started. It's your vision that will keep you going when the motivation fades and the discipline feels hard. Finally, don't be afraid to dream big. Too many people play small because they're afraid of failing. Let go of that fear. Failure is part of the process. The only true failure is never trying. So aim high, stretch yourself, and when you write down that vision, don't hold back. Write it in bold letters. Make it so big that it scares you a little. Because if your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. If your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. You've got 90 days ahead of you, 90 days to change your life. Start with a vision so clear, so powerful, that it pulls you forward every single day. Remember, you can't hit a target you can't see. Define your vision, and then chase it with everything you've got. Motivation is often seen as the driving force behind success. People wait for that spark, that burst of energy to get them moving, believing that once they feel motivated, they'll be unstoppable. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, and more often than not, it's unreliable. One day you feel on top of the world, ready to conquer everything, and the next day you can barely get out of bed. If you rely solely on motivation, you're setting yourself up for inconsistency and frustration. That's why you need something stronger, something that doesn't depend on how you feel. Discipline. Discipline is the quiet force that keeps you going when motivation fades. It doesn't ask if you're ready or if you're inspired. It simply says, get up and do it. You might not feel like going to the gym today, but discipline pushes you to lace up your sneakers and step through that door anyway. You might not feel like working on that project, but discipline tells you to open your laptop and start typing. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It cares about the goal, the mission, the bigger picture. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The truth is, motivation is a luxury, not a necessary. If you wait for motivation to show up every time you need to do something, you'll be stuck in a perpetual cycle of waiting. But discipline doesn't wait. Discipline shows up, even when you don't want to. It doesn't need a pep talk or a burst of excitement. It's a habit, a routine, and that's the beauty of it. Once you build the habit of showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you start making progress without even thinking about it. You stop relying on motivation, and instead you rely on the strength of your habits to push you forward. One of the key things to understand about discipline is that it's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. If you're used to skipping workouts, eating junk food, or procrastinating, discipline may feel difficult at first, but the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It's like going to the gym for your mind and your character. At first, the weights feel heavy, but over time, your muscles adapt and grow stronger. It's the same with discipline. Every time you choose to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing, you build that muscle. And the more you build it, the more unstoppable you become. It's the same with integrity. But here's the thing. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You're going to have bad days. You're going to mess up. You might miss a workout or eat that unhealthy meal or skip a deadline. But that doesn't mean you failed. That means you're human. What matters is what you do next. The key to building discipline is to not let one mistake derail you. Instead of giving up because you didn't do everything perfectly, get back up and keep going. Discipline is about showing up, even when you fall short. It's about building momentum, one step at a time, even when you don't feel like it. Another aspect of discipline is creating systems that work for you. You're not going to be disciplined by sheer willpower alone. It's too easy to get distracted, too easy to give in to temptation. But if you set up systems that support your goals, you make discipline easier. For example, if you want to read more, keep books within arm's reach. If you want to eat healthier, prepare your meals in advance. If you want to exercise more, schedule your workouts as non-negotiable appointments. The more you structure your environment to align with your goals, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. Discipline also helps you embrace the grind, the everyday effort that most people try to avoid. It's easy to get excited about a new goal at first, but once the initial excitement fades, you're left with the hard work. That's where discipline shines. It's the ability to show up even when there's no applause, no external motivation, no fanfare. It's the quiet, consistent effort that, over time, leads to massive results. The winners aren't the ones who are motivated all the time. They're the ones who keep going when the motivation is gone, when it's just them and the work. So if you want to change your life, stop waiting for motivation to strike. Build your discipline and let it carry you through the tough days. When motivation runs out, discipline will still be there, showing up for you. And that's how you win. By being disciplined enough to keep moving even when it feels impossible. Changing your life in 90 days isn't about waiting for that one big breakthrough. It's about the small, consistent wins that accumulate over time, creating momentum and progress. Most people get discouraged because they focus too much on the finish line, on the end result, and forget to celebrate the little victories along the way. But it's those small wins that really make the difference. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they build up into something powerful. The declension, the range of emotion, the intensity of belief being drained away. When they finally take up that guitar, if you're serious about change, you have to shift your focus to these small steps and acknowledge them every day. When you're trying to make a big change, the temptation is to look at the end goal and think it's too far out of reach. You see the mountain and feel overwhelmed by how much work it's going to take to get to the top. But no mountain is climbed in one giant leap. It's conquered step by step, one move at a time. The same goes for your personal transformation. The reason so many people fail in their pursuit of change is because they overlook the importance of the small, incremental improvements. They get caught up in the idea that only major milestones count. But the truth is, it's those small wins that push you forward and make the big wins possible. And you're right, I don't belong here either. I want to be with you. My prayer has been that God would use me to save the world. Start by identifying one or two key areas of your life that you want to improve and break them down into manageable tasks. For example, if your goal is to get healthier, you might start by drinking more water each day or taking a 10-minute walk every morning. These are small actions, but they lay the foundation for bigger changes. The key is to build momentum. When you experience success, no matter how small, it boosts your confidence and reinforces the idea that you are capable of change. Every time you make progress, you strengthen your belief in yourself, and this belief fuels your drive to keep going. The power of small wins is that they create a positive feedback loop. Each success, no matter how minor, gives you a sense of accomplishment, and that feeling motivates you to keep going. The more you win, the more you want to win, and the more willing you are to put in the work required to keep moving forward. That's why it's so important to celebrate those small victories. It could be as simple as acknowledging that you stuck to your plan for the day, that you completed a task you've been putting off, or that you made a healthier choice. These little moments matter. They show you that you are making progress, and they keep you on track. When you focus on the small wins, you also begin to see that success isn't an all or no nothing proposition. Too many people think that unless they achieve perfection, they've failed. They think that skipping one workout or eating one unhealthy meal ruins everything. But that's a dangerous mindset. A successful journey isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. You're not going to get everything right all the time, and that's okay. Success is amazing, but only when you recognize it. Get better. What matters is that you keep going. If you mess up, don't throw in the towel. Get back up and keep moving. The small wins are there for you to keep coming back to. One of the most powerful things about small wins is that they compound over time. They may seem insignificant on their own, but when they add up, they create massive change. Think about how much progress you could make if you just focused on one small win every day for 90 days. If you decided to eat one extra serving of vegetables every day, that's 90 servings by the end of the month. You could say, this is when it matters. This is important. And if you focus on the small wins every day, that's 90 servings by the end of the month. If you decided to read for just 10 minutes a day, that's 900 minutes of reading, or 15 hours. It's these compound effects that transform your life. Small wins may not seem like much at first, but over time, they add up to something extraordinary, and the extraordinary interest can turn into something extraordinary over the long run. Small wins also give you something to be proud of. When you accomplish something, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you can follow through, that you have what it takes to keep pushing. It builds your confidence and your resilience. Even when you face setbacks, you have the strength to keep moving forward because you've already built the momentum of small wins. That's what makes concentration so important. The proof of hard work that keeps you focused on your goal and helps get you through. So if you want to change your life, stop waiting for the big moment, the massive breakthrough. Start focusing on the little victories. Whether it's waking up early, making your bed, finishing a task, or sticking to a goal, these small wins are the foundation of lasting change. Don't underestimate them. Recognize their power, celebrate them, and keep building on them. One small step at a time, you'll find yourself not only reaching the top of the mountain, but standing there, proud of how far you've come. Jessica, Montana. Failure is not something most people like to talk about. In fact, many avoid it at all costs. But the truth is, failure is not only inevitable, it's essential. If you want to change your life, you have to learn to embrace failure, because failure isn't the end of the road, it's just a detour. It's a lesson, an opportunity to grow, and it's something that should be seen as fuel to propel you forward, not something that stops you in your tracks. The greatest challenges in life are the ones that sent you in your tracks. When you set out to make significant changes in your life, there's no way around the fact that you'll face challenges. You'll hit roadblocks, encounter setbacks, and face moments where it feels like everything is falling apart. But let me be clear, this is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're growing, stretching beyond your comfort zone, and doing something that matters. In fact, some of your biggest breakthroughs come directly after failure. Think about the times in your life when you failed, and yet found strength in that failure. Maybe you didn't win that competition, or maybe you didn't get the promotion you worked for. But those experiences were not the end of your story. They were just chapters. They were learning experiences that helped you become better, stronger, and more resilient. Failure is feedback. It tells you what didn't work so you can adjust and try again, but with more wisdom and experience. Every failure has a lesson embedded in it. If you can take the time to analyze what went wrong, you'll find the insight that can make all the difference the next time around. It's like a GPS that recalculates your route and directs you to a better path. But here's the catch. If you refuse to face failure head on, if you allow it to make you quit, then you miss the chance to learn. You miss the opportunity to become stronger. You miss the chance to prove to yourself that you can rise above adversity. The problem is that most people don't fail with grace. They let failure define them. They feel like they've been knocked out and that the story is over. But the truth is, failure only has the power that you give it. It doesn't have to define who you are. Just because you failed doesn't mean you are a failure. You are not your mistakes. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who failed the most, but kept getting up. They failed forward, using each setback as a stepping stone to something greater. When you understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a part of your journey, you start to see it differently. The fear of failure is often paralyzing. It keeps people from taking risks and stepping out of their comfort zones. But here's a secret. The fear of failure is worse than failure itself. When you fear failure, you hold yourself back. You play it safe, never pushing your limits and never reaching your true potential. But when you embrace failure, you stop fearing it and you start using it as motivation. The more you fail, the more you realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's not the end of the world. It's just a part of the process. Here's another truth. Failure teaches you resilience. Every time you fall, you have to get back up. You learn how to bounce back, how to pick yourself up, and how to keep moving. You develop a kind of mental toughness that will serve you in every area of your life. Without failure, you wouldn't develop that inner strength. Without failure, you wouldn't know what it means to truly fight for your dreams. If you become defeated financially or physically, it's easy to be resilient when things are going well, but true resilience is built in the tough times, when you feel like giving up, but you keep pushing forward anyway. Another aspect of failure is that it forces you to be adaptable. When things don't go according to plan, you have to think on your feet, adjust, and find a new solution. This ability to adapt is crucial for success. The road to change is rarely a straight line. There will be detours, roadblocks, and unexpected twists. But when you embrace failure as part of the process, you learn to pivot and keep moving toward your goal, no matter what obstacles come your way. You can't change your life without failure. It's not possible. Every success story is paved with countless failures. And if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to fail. Not just once, but over and over again. Because each time you fail, you get one step closer to success. So stop running from failure. Stop avoiding it. Embrace it. Learn from it. Let it fuel you. And most importantly, don't let it stop you. Keep going. Failure is not the end of your journey. It's a part of the process that will shape you into the person you need to become to reach your goals. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on the person you become. Whether you realize it or not, the energy, mindset, and attitudes of those around you are constantly influencing your own thoughts, behaviors, and even your beliefs about what's possible. If you want to change your life in 90 days, one of the most important decisions you'll make is who you allow into your inner circle. You must be intentional about the people you allow to be a part of your life, because they can either propel you forward or hold you back. Positive, supportive people can lift you to new heights. They believe in your potential, encourage you on the tough days, and remind you of your goals when you start to doubt yourself. These are the people who see your strengths even when you can't see them. They push you to be your best self and help you see possibilities where you might only see obstacles. They don't just cheer you on from the sidelines, they walk beside you, lifting you when you fall, motivating you when you're tired, and inspiring you to keep going when it gets hard. These are the kinds of people you need to surround yourself with if you want to achieve greatness.